Hey, what's up? I'm Colleen and welcome to my channel. I've never met a sparkle that I didn't like and a bully that I did, because being mean is not cool. Awesome people are not mean, so be kind all the time. So welcome to another episode of Friday Frights. For this edition, I thought I would talk about the legend of Stull Cemetery. Stull Cemetery is located in the town of Stull in Kansas. I've been really interested in just histories about cemeteries and stuff lately because I've been watching a lot of videos on cemeteries on YouTube lately. I don't know why. I just find them so fascinating. I think it's really interesting to see the older graves in cemeteries, and I think it's just because it's like an interesting, like these people like once existed and you're like just thinking about stuff. I don't know. I just find it like really just fascinating. And also I do love that there are some spooky stories around cemeteries too. I know cemeteries usually like aren't considered as haunted because people are like at rest there, but there are definitely some cemeteries that, of course, that we've talked about before that have some strange occurrences that happen, and Stull Cemetery definitely has had some stories with some dark, strange occurrences. So if you are interested in finding out more about Stull Cemetery and how I got this lovely look, please continue on, because that's what we are going to get into right now.
Stull Cemetery. This cemetery has gained an ominous reputation due to urban legends involving Satan, the occult, and not a stairway to heaven, but a stairway to hell itself. The rumors about the cemetery were popularized by a November 1974 issue of the University Daily Kansan, the student newspaper of the University of Kansas, which claimed the devil appeared in Stull twice a year, once on Halloween and once on the spring equinox. People soon began stating that the cemetery was the location of one of the 7 gates to hell, and that the nearby evangelical church ruin was possessed by the devil. The legends say that these stories have been linked to Stull for more than 100 years, but none of them made it to the print until the 1970s. Most residents and students learned about Stull's dark reputation from their grandparents and older individuals, but many claim they have had first-hand experiences with things they could not explain. Stories of being touched by something unseen, hearing strange noises, and unexplained memory lapses have been associated with visiting Stull Cemetery. Of course, the biggest urban legend associated with Stull is its reported gateway to hell. According to legend, it is one of the 7 reputed places on earth where living people can descend to the realm of the damned. The staircase is said to appear once a year. Suddenly, a hidden staircase is revealed, descending into a grave, then into the underworld. Most versions say it happens on the stroke of midnight on Halloween, while others say it opens on the spring equinox. You are warned, if you ever come across these stairs, don't go down them because you will never be seen again. There are also various accounts claiming that Satan himself comes forth on Halloween night to hold court in the cursed cemetery. The devil supposedly also visits a witch that is buried there, who in some stories is the mother of his son, who is also buried in Stull. Coincidentally, an old tombstone bearing the name Witch or Wittich is located fairly close to the old church. It should also be noted that there are rumors that an old tree in the graveyard, which has since been cut down, was once used as the gallows for condemned witches. There is also said to be a grave in the cemetery that holds the bones of a child of Satan, who was born of a witch and the devil. The child was so deformed that he only lived for a few days, with his body being buried in Stull. Some say the ghosts may haunt the cemetery, as there is a photo taken a few years back that shows a werewolf-like boy peering out from behind a tree. Many of the legends surrounding Stull Cemetery center on the old church that stood there from 1867 to 2002. The Evangelical Emmanuel Church was built by the town's original Pennsylvania Dutch settlers, who held their services there in German until 1908. The church has since spent most of the 20th century empty, its roof falling in and the walls crumbling, yet odd stories still gathered tightly around it. The church is said to have been used by Satanists, witches' covens, and cults for their rituals. Though it had no roof by the time these groups supposedly convened there, it was said that rain would never fall within its walls. Other accounts claimed that it was impossible to break a glass bottle inside the church. Another story tells of two young men who were visiting Stull Cemetery one night, and they became frightened when a strong wind began blowing out of nowhere. They ran back to their car only to find that the vehicle had been moved to the other side of the highway and was now facing the opposite direction. Another man claimed to have experienced this same wind, but inside the church rather than the graveyard. He said that the sinister air knocked him to the floor and would not allow him to move for some time. The incident took place inside the same church mentioned earlier, where no rain would fall even though the roof was crumbling in. Yet one of the strangest stories supposedly appeared in the Time magazine in either 1993 or 1995, although it apparently did not. This story claims that Pope John Paul II allegedly ordered his private plane to fly around eastern Kansas when on his way to an appearance in Colorado. The reason for this being that the Pope did not want to fly over such unholy ground.
So that is all I have for you on Stull Cemetery. What do you guys think of all the lore around Stull Cemetery? Have you ever been to Stull Cemetery? Have you heard of the stories surrounding Stull Cemetery? I'd heard the name before, but I never really knew like the stories about like how it had one of the 7 gates of hell, and just really interesting. I of course will have all the references below listed that I used to gather this information. So if you want to find out more about Stull Cemetery and Stull itself and everything, I will always list it below. Yeah, so let me know also if there are any interesting cemeteries that you guys know about, any stories or anything down below. I'm always curious to know more interesting, fascinating stories in the paranormal realm because it is my absolute favorite thing next to makeup. So anyway, my celestial cupcakes, that is it for this video. So if you liked this video, please feel free to give it a like. If you really like this video, please feel free to subscribe. If you want to do neither one of those things, that is totally fine. I thank you so much for stopping by and spending this minute with me. I really appreciate it. I'll also send you tons of happy thoughts and positive vibes your way just for stopping by. So thank you. As always, I will have everything that I'm wearing on my face, as well as my Twitter and Instagram handles listed below in case you'd like to follow me there. I post pictures of looks that I do not film, as well as pictures of my pets because I think they are adorable, but of course we are all biased when it comes to our fur babies, but oh well. So anyway, from one makeup lover to another, I hope you guys have a fantastic day and always stay gay. Be you, do you, love you. Bye!